Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Thursday, December 11th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and we've got David from Raleigh, North Kakalaki back in the house for this Thursday edition of the show. And it's a huge Thursday card, 13 games on tap. And as you can tell, the founders of the Ice Guys have had been hit with the axe here over the last couple of days. Both of us getting our lids dealt with here over the last few days. So that's good to see. Fresh haircuts and hopefully fresh winners for you on this Thursday NHL card. But Alex, good to be back. Of course, we did the pre-recorded show because circumstances dictated we had to do it yesterday. But we're back live today and ready to rock on this Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to what should be a fun card. It was an interesting night last night as well, too. So we're going to kind of recap over that a little bit. But yeah, just been some interesting games and been fun. Some fun last couple of nights. We've seen 5 games with goals in the final seconds to tie up and lead to draws. So if you're in for draw season like we have been, it's been a lot of fun and a lot of profits.
No doubt the draws have been phenomenal. We had another one with Seattle and LA in the late night hours last night, which was good to see. David is back. The circumstances, unfortunately, conflict last week, couldn't make it, but he's back here today. And David was in the house at Lenovo Tuesday night for the big 2006 Stanley Cup championship team reunion for the Carolina Hurricanes, and they wheeled the Stanley Cup out. I know you told me about it before the show started, but tell everyone watching and listening the experience there.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. On Sunday, actually, I got to during the Sharks game, I got to go take a picture with the cup and go hang out around it for a few minutes. And I mean, that was the first time getting to be close to it in person, and it's just a whole nother world than seeing it on TV.
Best trophy in sports.
Absolutely.
Beat that to anyone. There's no argument to me.
And there's so much character to it. It was awesome seeing all the guys I grew up with back on the ice, have the alumni game on Monday. So everything is good. Everything, fortunately, got the win on Tuesday. Wasn't as fun for the Sharks game, but excited to be back on the show today.
Yeah, they lost to San Jose, but Carolina did bounce back nicely against Columbus on Tuesday night with the 2006 team in the house. Last night, I'll be brief with the recap. It was a lighter betting night for me. Like, everything was pretty small last night as far as the bets. Even the best bet, which was Florida, which cashed. Everything was pretty small as far as the wager size last night for me. Liked but didn't love the card. Rangers Blackhawks was a good job by Chicago, man. That was coming off a road trip. And to play the way they did, very solid 3-0 win over the Rangers, shutout victory for Spencer Knight, who was pretty solid in the game. I thought there was a good team defensive game, though, for the most part, from the Chicago Blackhawks, and probably an onus, to play better at that end of the ice when you give up, obviously, 6 goals to Los Angeles, 7 to Anaheim, at the end of that road trip. That's going to be a wake-up call for Chicago, and clearly the wake-up call, they responded to it. Nice 3-0 victory for the Blackhawks, coming off those 2 duds that they had over the weekend against the Ducks and the Kings to end that road trip. Detroit hangs on for dear life. It looked like they were going to breeze to victory, 4-0 at one point, but Calgary didn't go away. Cut the lead to 4-3, but that's as close as they would get. Red Wings hang on for the 4-3 win. I did have a piece of the over. So did Alex. We mentioned Alex's card yesterday on the show, and he had the over in that game, so good to see that cash. The best bet, there we go. Someone wanted to hear that sound. The Florida Panthers, 4-3 over Utah, which was nice. I'm telling you, the bet on signal, the buy signal for me is showing for Florida right now. It's a team that's obviously had the rough start to the season. It's a team that's obviously had a ton of injuries. But they won back-to-back over the weekend against the Jackets and the Islanders. They obviously were playing a slumping, struggling. They can't get out of their own way. Utah Mammoth team also playing without Logan Cooley, their leading goal scorer, 3rd on the team in points. And I thought it was a good spot for Florida. Started this road trip to keep this momentum going. And Paul Maurice did the right thing. I put Bob in for the game that's more winnable. And tonight, and that was last night against Utah. So I like that call. You need points right now. You need wins to try to get back into the playoff race. So why would you save goalie Bob for the tougher opponent? Take advantage of, putting your best goalie in there against a team that's down and out right now. Utah, the way they're playing. So nice job there. We had a piece of the over too in the Florida-Utah game. So that was a good betting result. And the draw comes through. I had a piece. Alex had the draw with LA and Seattle. That's a brutal loss for the Kings. I mean, you had a 2-1 lead, tying goal allowed in the last minute, and then Seattle Kraken win it in overtime, 3-2. It was Vince Dunn with the overtime power play goal. Matty Beniers tied it also on the power play. We talked about this too with the Kings. They've been taking some really silly penalties at bad times as well. And boy, did the lack of discipline ever catch up to them last night. So very, very painful loss for the LA Kings of Seattle, and a much-needed win for Seattle. Boy, did they need a win in the worst way, and they got it in the comeback fashion, defeating LA 3-2 in overtime. And draw season the last 2 nights. I mean, we're converting people. Alex, I don't know if you heard it, but I mentioned the YouTube commenter from Tuesday's show on yesterday's show that I pre-recorded saying he's a believer in the draws now. And it was great to hear that, great to see that. We're not giving out a million draws because we want to be boring or dull or repetitive. We're doing that. There's legitimate value and great prices and real edges with these bets and the frequency of games going past regulation. It's that simple.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's a pattern that we follow and prices that we like and quality profit. And like I said, you're going to have streaks with these things. You're going to have games where a week where you're going to have 10 draws and none of them hit. Or you're going to have some close calls and bad beats. Florida, Utah with a bad beat. I had to draw in that game as well. You get the goal with a minute left for the lead. So the fact that we're seeing
under a minute left. Yep.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these goals coming in the final minute. Thankfully, most of them have been to tie games, but at some point that trend could turn and they could be, tie games, and those are goals that are giving teams the lead and breaking those draws. So you will have the ups and downs and the variance, but when you're talking about prices that if you're shopping around, you're getting anywhere from plus 300 to as high as maybe in the 400s. You can take those shots and those risks, and right now they've been coming in spades, so it's been fun to see. And like I said, that is a bad loss for the Kings. It's shocking. It's 2:15 Eastern. Jim Hiller still has the head coaching job with that franchise. It's amazing. But this is another bad loss for this team, and a team you're supposed to beat in Seattle, a lead you're supposed to hold. The goaltenders played well early in that game, especially Forsberg. Forsberg made a ton of saves late, but then he makes the critical error of tripping Jared McCann and hoping McCann's going to be well. He couldn't put any weight on that leg as he was going off to the bench. Already had a leg injury and missed 17 games, so that was really an ugly. Hated to see that. And of course, Forsberg felt bad. You don't want to hurt a guy. Certainly don't want to put yourself in a power play, in a penalty kill situation, and that ended up being the spot to end up tying that game up. So happy to see it as someone who bet the draw, but that's just another unfortunate loss for the LA Kings. Go to that Chicago game. What a fantastic, like you said, defensive effort by the Hawks. I was a little scared and nervous of betting the full money line on this one way or the other. It's hard to trust the Rangers to score, but I didn't know what we were going to see from the Hawks necessarily. Coming off that long road trip, that struggling road trip, I knew they'd maybe show some energy early. I liked that first period over. That was my best bet. That didn't cash because both goaltenders were phenomenal. Igor Shesterkin made some huge saves early, and then Spencer Knight, once he locked in the form, he made big saves pretty much the last 50 minutes of the game and held on to get the shutout. Bedard, loved that he got that goal. After the goal came back with the Donato, the hand pass, which I thought was crazy because even if it was a hand pass to Colton Dock, it was on Ilya Mikheyev's stick, who I was hoping he put it in, but that still would have been called back. He passes it to Donato. So I don't understand how you have a hand pass if an actual stick pass is in between that. But either way, they took it off the board.
The night after Lindy Ruff was complaining and yelling about hand pass rulings the previous game with the Buffalo Edmonton game. Yeah.
Right. So we need a little more clarification on what exactly a hand pass is, because as far as I know, hand to stick and then stick to another stick would not be a hand pass. But they pulled it off. Bedard came back, puck don't lie, and they made it 2-0, and it seemed like all the momentum was on the Hawks side. But they didn't rest back. They continued to press, continued to play well at both ends of the ice, and gave a full 60-minute effort, something we need to see more of if you're Jeff Blashill and company. So that was a really good win for the Hawks.
David, your thoughts on last night?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of the games last night. I had some prior commitments, but I did have the Red Wings check that 4-0 lead with 11 minutes left, and suddenly they're sweating with 3 to go. So yeah, that ended up turning out well. But I didn't get to watch any of the games last night, but had a decent slate.
All right, on we go. Thursday card. Let's dive in. We've got 13 games. We try to keep this show usually to 90 minutes. If it gets much longer than that, to me, sometimes it can get a little too long. So we'll try to keep a brisk pace through this 13-game slate. And we'll begin with Tampa Bay, New Jersey. Tampa Bay minus 130, road favorites here, 5.5 the total in this game. These are two teams that, well, prior to their last game, really had been slumping offensively and having trouble finding the back of the net. But breakout offensive games for both of these teams the last time we saw them. Tampa off the back-to-back shutout losses to the Islanders and the Leafs. They responded with an outburst of 6 goals against Montreal in a 6-1 victory the other night. And New Jersey, obviously, after being held to pretty much 1 goal or fewer in most of their recent games, they got back on track with a 4-3 win on the road against Ottawa. So seeing 4 goals go in was certainly a nice change of pace for the Devils. Worth noting for the Devils, Timo Meier, personal matters out of the lineup tonight for the New Jersey Devils. So that'll hurt a little bit as far as at the offensive end of the ice. Jacob Markstrom confirmed in net for the Devils. Jonas Johansson is likely going to start here. We haven't heard a confirmation here yet, but I'd expect it to be him. I highly doubt that the Andrei Vasilevsky is going to be back. Remember, he was just placed on IR before the Toronto game for the Lightning at the start of this road trip. We'll see how this one plays out. Just when they get Victor Hedman back, he's back on the IR again. He got injured against Montreal. Hate to see it because he just came back, the captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now he's back on IR, and you're back to being without 3 of your 6 starting defensemen. No Chernak, no McDonough, and now Hedman back on the IR once again here for this Lightning team. But the good news is they got Point and Kucherov back at the beginning of this road trip, and after being a little rusty against Toronto, boy, did they both look a lot better against Montreal, making an impact offensively. The only bet I have here is a smaller scale bet, over 5.5, just because we're riding offensive momentum here. Teams that had struggled to score finally got their offense going in the last game. You're dealing with a 5.5. I have not loved, obviously, Markstrom's play of late in net for the Devils. Johansson's been good, but there's still an element to me that, if he keeps getting the start after start with Vasilevsky out, can he maintain this level of success in between the pipes? We'll see. I think at 5.5, there's value over, so I bet it accordingly. Alex, what do you think here? Lightning, Devils.
Yeah, this is one I took a shot with the Devils. I got plus 115 money line last night. I think this could be a spot where we see Johansson get tripped up. He's going to be playing, like I said, the bulk of the games for the next week or so. Now, like I said, with no Hedman again, now you've got 3 of your 6 defensemen out. We're going to start to see goals here. So I do like the over by effective. I'll be waiting for that in game, getting better adjusted prices on 5.5 and that first period over. But I took a shot here with the Devils to get the win here as a dog.
All right, good stuff. David, what are you liking here? Tampa Bay, New Jersey.
I took Tampa minus 125 last night before the Timo news, and I like it even more now. I think we've kind of seen that the Devils kind of forget how to play without Jack Hughes in. 14 and 19 with him the last 2 years. Been a lot better, so much better with him in. 37 and 61 without him during his career. They've struggled, honestly. This has been a tough stretch of games the last couple of weeks. They've had the better expected goals at 5-on-5 in just 2 of their last 13 games. The whole team just kind of seems to shut down a little bit when he's not in the lineup. I don't think that's much of a secret, but I think Tampa gets it done.
I applaud my colleagues here, Alex and David, one being on New Jersey and one being on Tampa, proving to me why I passed on the side in this game, because I think you can make good cases for both teams here in this spot tonight. But like I said, I'm staying off the side. Never really had a strong lean one way or the other here in this game. As far as props go for this one, I would look maybe at Gritschik here for the New Jersey Devils. Scored in the last game for them. Maybe a look as well toward Cody Glass repair, Cody Glass replace. He's streaky, and he got on the board for New Jersey in their last game as well. And you can get a pretty nice price there in that plus 700 range for Cody Glass for a goal prop tonight in this game. Tampa Bay, it looks like, too. One thing I've noticed is Nick Paul down to the fourth line. So, like I said, he actually has gone a few games without scoring. The main shakeup here is you got Hagel, Sorelli, Kucherov, you got Gensel, Point, you got Bjorkstrand. Like I said, I was looking at Paul again, but now that he's down to the fourth line, not interested. Bjorkstrand's ice cold. I can't take Bjorkstrand. I mean, he has really had a hard time offensively for Tampa, but he is on the second line. If you trust him to snap out of it, there's probably some value there. All right, Montreal and Pittsburgh. Got lots of storylines here. Pittsburgh minus 130, home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. I talked about this on the the recap yesterday with Montreal after their loss to Tampa. Their defense has not been great, but there is way too many times for this hockey team. The routine save has been there to be made by either Dobish or Montembeault, and it's not getting made. The routine save is not happening. They're not getting it. And that's got to change. That has to stop right now. And the Montreal Canadiens are going to try at least to put a stop to that by bringing up the number one goalie prospect in their organization, making his NHL debut tonight, Jacob Fowler, star at Boston College, incredible college career as a goaltender there. Very good numbers so far with the Laval Rocket in the American Hockey League this season. Now, again, this is coming up to the NHL, but we know this is not some ragamuffin goaltender that's being called up. This is a guy with a lot of potential, with a lot of ability, and a team that I think what this does too for Montreal, just from a situational standpoint, you're struggling at home, especially, but you've played good on the road. I was astonished to see that Montreal's road record is certainly lately a lot better than their home record, and their goal differential, which is way in the negative at home, they're actually a plus goal differential team on the road, the Montreal Canadiens. So they've actually played better hockey on the road as of late, the Canadiens. Pittsburgh has kind of regressed after the strong start. We expected it would happen at some point, and I cashed a little fortuitous ticket, I will admit, with Anaheim against them the other night with that comeback win, but we'll take it. Husso was outstanding. I thought Pittsburgh actually played well enough to win. They controlled the flow, heavily outshot the Ducks. But unfortunately, Anaheim was more opportunistic offensively, and Pittsburgh starting to slump at home in particular as well. We don't know how good Fowler's going to be. And, sometimes the goalies in this spot, they look great, and sometimes they struggle. But he's got the ability, and more than anything, I think this is something that needs to be done to spark the group, clearly, right now. And I think for one night that can be done with Jacob Fowler. I expect them to play their asses off tonight, Montreal, for this kid in his first game. Now, whether that results in a win, I don't know. But at plus 110, I'm in. I like Montreal here in this spot. I'll give them a whirl and see if they can ride the wave here of Jacob Fowler's NHL debut. Plus, Pittsburgh's very much a bet against team at the moment for now. They're finally fading after that terrific month of October. And remember, they don't have Malkin now either. And it's a big deal because Malkin had been playing so well to begin the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins to begin the year. So I like Montreal now in this spot, this situation, plus 110. My only fear is Pittsburgh has dummied them in the series history, 6 straight. They've won over Montreal. I'm going up heads up against some pretty strong and dominant series history, but I like this situational spot. I like this price. Montreal for me, plus 110. The Montreal overs have been part of my staple of betting for weeks now, but I've got that weird feeling this could be more of a tighter, lower scoring game, and Montreal may play that way and help out their young goalie Fowler. But obviously, this is going to be one of the games I really keep an eye on. We're all excited to see how Jacob Fowler performs in his first NHL start for a guy that has had the comparisons to a former Montreal goalie in Carey Price. I mean, that's how high this ceiling is. We don't know if he's going to be anything close to Carey Price. Of course not. But that's where the ceiling is at for Jacob Fowler right now. And like I said, we will see how it performs. Here's the thing. Montreal has to play better defensively as a team. There's no doubt. But there's been multiple goals that have gone in against Montreal where the save's got to be made. It's a routine save. It's a puck that's got to be stopped. And Montembeault nor Dobish lately have been stopping those. Maybe there's a hope Fowler can make those routine saves. He should be able to, obviously, with his ability. Alex, what do you think here, Montreal-Pittsburgh?
So you got a Habs team that's been struggling defensively. Like you said, it's not just the goaltenders. It's been the blue liners in front as well. And now you bring up Jacob Fowler, who we've been talking about for a while. Scouts have been talking about for the last several years. He has good numbers with Laval over the last – he's played 18 games in Laval from last year to this year. He's 12-6, 2.09 goals against average right now, currently this season. But you're putting so much pressure on him. I just read the tweet earlier today where March 1971, Ken Dryden, first start for Montreal against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Patrick Waugh in October of 85, first start, Pittsburgh Penguins. Carey Price, October was 06 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And now you're throwing him into this
against
spot.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't that?
So now that you're trying to set up the beginning of this legacy and this great storyline, and I do think he's going to be part of that goaltending legacy at some point. I think Jacob Fowler will be someone that we talk about as one of the top 5, top 10 goalies as we get older and as this show goes on. But for right now and tonight, that's not going to be the case, and it's not going to be the case early in that game. I can't trust Pittsburgh 60 minutes, but I do trust them to get out of that first period with the lead. So give me Pittsburgh first goal, first period, plus 115. Give me Pittsburgh on the first period puck line. I actually got plus 175 last night, but I still like that at plus 165, plus 170, shop around. And I have a bargain bin from this game involving a first goal.
All right, there you go. Pittsburgh first goal of first period. It is first, a little jitters early for Fowler. We'll see. It's definitely possible. Good angle. If you like Pittsburgh, that's the angle you're rolling with. I think that maybe early there's some little butterflies in the stomach, maybe an early goal. Montreal has been giving up early goals, and Marty St. Louis talked about it. We're giving up an early goal way too often, and we'll see if for a change they can avoid that here tonight. David, what do you think? Habs Penguins.
Yeah, I was looking at the total. I got the over 6.5 at plus 105. I think it's a decent play. Can't say I love taking totals with goalies in their first start. You usually do see a little more juice on the defensive end, like you said. But the Penguins have just been flying. Their last 5 games are averaging 7.5 expected goals a game. The totals are showing that 4 of the last 5 have gone over. I think this is a tough matchup on the road, playing a super fast team. So I like the over. I don't love playing a goalie's first game, taking an over, but I think we get 7.
Tommy Novak, Anthony Mantha. There are a couple Penguin props I like, even though I'm on the Montreal side here in this game as far as money line's concerned. For Montreal, Zach Bolduc on the top line with Caulfield and Suzuki. And I'm sick of seeing this guy score for Montreal in games where I don't bet his prop, and I'm going to hopefully rectify that tonight. Oliver Kapanen for Montreal, who's on their second line for this game tonight, centering it alongside Demidov and Slavkovsky. And by the way, Owen Beck and Adam Engstrom, let's not forget these two guys. They were also called up with Jacob Fowler. Both of them will be in the lineup from Laval. Owen Beck centering the third line, and Adam Engstrom will be on the third D pair with Alex Carrier here tonight. It looks like Arbor Jacki, my Hamiltonian friend, will be a healthy scratch tonight for the Montreal Canadiens on the back end. All right, Ottawa, Columbus. We've got Ottawa minus 125 road favorites. The total here, 6.5 across the board. As soon as I saw Elvis Merzlikins confirmed in net for Columbus, my eyes lit up. He's been bad, man. He's been absolutely atrocious of late, really bad. And he's had moments like this and spurts like this and stretches like this where he's been really poor. This is one of the most poor runs he's had. And we've seen a lot of poor goaltending at times from Merzlikins, but this has been a bad run for him. As soon as I saw it, Ottawa money line, Ottawa team total over 3, full game over 6, minus 120. It's now 6.5, and total jumped to 6.5 right along with that news too. And I totally fully agree with that. I think Ottawa can definitely find the back of the net. And you look at all the recent final scores of these Merzlikins starts. We've 7-6 against Florida, that crazy game over the weekend. 6-5 with Detroit. I mean, we've seen these 5-4 games, 6-5, 7-6, just track meets with Merzlikins. And the reason for it is because he's given up a lot of goals, and Columbus has given up a lot of goals with him in net. And then, of course, Columbus feels like, well, we got to push offensively because this guy keeps allowing goals. We got to score. Right. So it turns into these track meets, Detroit, Columbus, Florida. A lot of recent indicators of that. It's kind of weird because when Jet Greaves has been in net, this team's been playing under. And then with Merzlikins in net, they've been playing over. So that's what I like here. Sens money line, team total over split, and full game over 6 here. Just the full game over because some of these Columbus games have had first period slow scoring starts, and then it breaks open in the second and third period. That's been happening a lot, especially in the Merzlikins starts of late. Alex, what do you think here, Ottawa, Columbus?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to watching an Ottawa Columbus game, which that usually wouldn't be the case, but it's for betting reasons. Like I said, I think this is going to be one where we can jump in and grab some good value live. I think we can wait for a 6, maybe even get plus money on a 6. We can wait for that first period over. Not necessarily maybe even a 1.5. I could see this being a low and slow start that gradually turns into a back and forth battle. And the reason I can't take Ottawa money line is because of what you said. Columbus with Merzlikins, they have to play this fire wagon style of hockey. They might be able to keep pace with a team like Ottawa in a track meet. There's some other teams that I wouldn't necessarily be running to say, oh, okay, I won't take a side. I could back the team and fade Merzlikins, but this could be one where it is 6-5 and Columbus finds a way to win. I might even grab a little piece of the draw here as well.
Oh yeah, like Ottawa's given up 3 goals or more. The Senators have in 5 of their last 7 games, so they haven't been shutting the door either. Columbus definitely can find the back of the net here. Put it this way, and I want to make this clear for everyone because you're going to see these 3 bets listed on the Patreon page later. These are from smallest to biggest bet. Ottawa money line, Ottawa team total over, full game over. I like the Ottawa money line the least of the 3. I like the full game over the most of the 3. That's where I'm at, and I think Ottawa team total, and I have more personally on the Ottawa team total over than the Ottawa money line because I'm banking on Ottawa's production scoring wise more so than their defensive game tonight, which that's why I'm going in that direction. So again, I definitely like the team total over and the full game over more than I'd like the money line. The money line's the smallest of the 3 bets.
Robert Carlson mentioned in the chat, the pattern for Columbus, the draw pattern has officially ended. We saw that two back-to-back and then a game off. It's been the last 2 games have gone without an overtime. So this might be actually a spot to grab maybe the draw.
Yeah, it had to happen. You knew at some point that pattern. Amazing the pattern lasted that long.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, you knew eventually it had to come to an end. David, what do you like in here? Sens Jackets.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I took the Senators minus 110 last night. I honestly like it even more at the minus 120, minus 125 with Elvison. I mean, he's a great guy. I was sitting at the game in warmups. He signed a stick for a kid and threw it over.
Oh, he's a wonderful human being.
I mean, he's a great guy, but
I hate
ripping. But obviously, Jet is just so. I mean, we talked about it on the a few times on the shows before. Jet is borderline elite. And I think it's just a pretty massive difference with Merzlikins in net. The Senators in December they got a +7 expected goal differential at even strength. Columbus with a -10 expected goal differential in December. I think it's just 2 teams trending in different directions. I know the Senators are off 3 straight losses, but they've still played pretty decently in those games. I like the Senators here a lot.
Good stuff. As far as props go for me here in this game, there's probably still some value with Zetterlund on the top line for Ottawa, Perron on the second line for Ottawa, Columbus-wise for goal props tonight. Marchenko being back the last few games has certainly made a difference. And Boone Jenner, the captain, is back. And I'm feeling him maybe for a goal tonight coming back into the lineup for the Columbus Blue Jackets here. Batherson, a lot of people liking Batherson here. Ask Jackets teammates about Elvis. Don't think they will share the same opinion. Interesting, says Jonathan. He's fiery and he's too emotional. Here's the thing about him. On the ice, you're right. It's almost like he's probably laid back, good guy off the ice and all that, like David said. But I think maybe there's elements of him a little too fiery, a little too emotional. Because I've seen it when things aren't going well. He sometimes is starting to yell at the refs and, he's bad body language and he's showing that anger and he's showing that frustration. And that can sometimes lead to some of the issues he keeps having as far as consistency in net, So I think there's a lot of that in Elvis right now. Yep.
You think about a guy like a Spencer Knight who, kind of went to therapy to battle and combat those things and get those in check. You wonder if a guy, and he's a guy who's been through therapy as well, of course, for other things. But that kind of balance of emotions. And we've seen that with goalies historically. Sometimes it works in their favor, but sometimes it can be a little rocky at times managing that.
It's tough when a guy comes in like Jed and is also he's playing so well.
That too. And of course, then it eats away at a guy that's already battling to stay in the net and battling with his confidence and realizing, holy shit, I got to play well now. Look at the way this guy's playing. Jet Greaves for Columbus. So not an easy situation. All right, Carolina, Washington. Carolina minus 115, road favorite, 6 the total. There's not really much for me to say on this game because I'm passing on it. Nothing. No bet. No bet pregame. It's a great game to watch. I don't really love bat fading either of these teams right now in a spot like this. Brandon Bussey is starting for Carolina, and Rod Brindamore's drinking the Kool-Aid that me and Alex are, believing that right now he might be the best goalie on this Hurricanes roster. I'm saying right now he is. When Freddie Anderson's, playing better, a year or two ago, maybe you could say he's still better. But right now, Freddie's had a tough year. Kochetkov still trying to find his game, coming back from an absence. Right, all Bussey's done is win. 9 of his first 10 starts, he's won for this Carolina team. He's coming off another good start in that 4-1 win against Columbus a couple nights ago. Not really interested going against Carolina, especially with the bus man and that driving of course, Bus is his nickname. That's a no-brainer. That's his nickname. Washington, meanwhile, Logan Thompson in net. He's been brilliant lately. Washington's playing great. I have zero interest getting in their way right now. So great game to watch. Maybe we'll find something in game, but nothing for me pregame. Same thing with the total. It's could go either way, in my opinion, over or under. Alex, what do you think here? Canes, Caps.
Yeah, this is one I will grab a little piece of the draw plus 325 pregame, but I'm looking to grab Carolina in game at a plus price potentially. And Brandon Bussey's real. Like, he's real. He's legit, and I believe he is the best goalie on this team right now. Frederick Anderson, yes, when he's healthy, he can be solid. He can be one of the better goaltenders in this league. Pyotr Kochetkov, I'm not ready to just completely sell him off just yet either. I think he needs time, and I think, honestly, he might need a change of scenery. Be somewhere with a franchise that knows how to manage goaltenders well, which something Carolina does not do. But Brandon Bussey, I think, is legitimate. And I think at some point in time, this could be the beginning of him taking over the #1 reins down there in Raleigh. So I like Canes to get the win here. I think it goes past regulation. So I'm going to be looking for a plus money spot. Maybe this will be a good game live for looking for next to score as well. I can see back and forth goals going back here.
All right, David, of course, your team. What do you think here tonight for them? Canes and Caps.
Yeah, I like us tonight, honestly. I think in that first meeting, we were the better team, obviously lost 4-1. But, I mean, Bussey being in net, I said that I saw one of his first starts.
Washington beat him in Carolina earlier this year.
They did. That's true. I mean, the Canes did kind of dominate that game, had 5 expected goals to 2, I think. But, I mean, Bussey in net, he's fantastic. He reminds me a little bit of Cam Ward, 2006, coming in and winning the Cup 20 years later. So who knows? But yeah, I like the Canes here.
Trying to speak that into existence. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. If I say it enough, it'll manifest. But yeah, the Canes have played pretty well in all the last 9 games. Didn't show the best effort against the Sharks, but have had a positive expected goal differential in 9 straight games. Caps have had a negative at even strength in 8 of the last 9. I think the Caps are a good team, but I think the Canes show some feistiness, a little bit more energy with Bussey, and I like the Canes to get this down at -110.
Yeah, Jordan Staal, the captain of the Hurricanes. I mean, he's scored now in back-to-back games for this Carolina team, being used a little bit more on net front presence on the man advantage. That's a great observation that Robert had the other night, 100%. So might ride the wave that is Jordan Staal. You can get plus 400 thereabouts as far as him to score a goal, back-to-back games with one. Protas for Washington has scored in back-to-back games. So those are a couple of props I'm going to certainly be dabbling in here for this game. Staal's the one that I really, he is. He's
what a
power play. Yeah.
What a world, Jordan Staal on the power play one. I mean, he's in there to win the faceoffs because we couldn't keep the zone on any power plays because we're not winning any faceoffs. So he's in there for that. Then they'll throw somebody like Blake in there to mix it up. But he's made the power play a lot better, being able to hold the zone.
Yeah, no question. And we've certainly seen that's why I got to give Rod credit. We gave Rod a lot of grief when he took so long to put Nikishin in there in the playoffs last year, but you got to give him praise when he does the right decision, makes the right move, and he's certainly done that to try to enhance and boost this Canes power play, which has been uncharacteristically poor. And even their penalty kill has not been nearly, as dominant. But again, Slavin, when he comes back, it's obviously the numbers on the PK are going to go up. There's no question about that. All right, next up, we've got Anaheim and the New York Islanders. Islanders -125, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. That was a great game. That was a very back-and-forth fun game with Vegas and the Islanders the other night. Islanders victorious, of course, 5-4 victory over the Golden Knights. They'll be looking to keep it rolling. Anaheim off a game where they won. I don't think they're going to be happy with the process that led to that win, because the 47-26 were the shots. It was a Ville Husso masterpiece that gave them a chance to win that game, a game they didn't play particularly well in, but somehow they got the tying goal late. Unbelievable circumstances where you took a penalty down 3-2. You got a face-off in the Anaheim zone, the defensive zone, with like 10 seconds left, and somehow you get down the ice and you put it a shorthanded goal in to tie the game with a second left. Unbelievable. And then, of course, Anaheim won in the shootout, but we'll take it. I'm back on the Quackers tonight. Anaheim plus 105 tonight. They've been good in the road dog role. And when you look at the Islanders, and Jonathan Davis often looks at road dog, not just the road and the home record, road dog versus road favorite, home dog versus home favorite. Sometimes there's a difference in how teams perform in those roles. The Islanders have been an amazing home underdog lately. Look at these big wins and good teams they've beaten as a home dog lately. Tampa, Colorado, Vegas in their last game, all as home dogs, but as home favorites, when you're playing, quote unquote lesser teams, even though Anaheim's not quite a lesser team anymore, they're still, not looked at as a Colorado or a Vegas, for example. The Islanders are just 1-5 in their last 6 as a home favorite. So they have not been great in this home favorite type of role going as of late. And a little bit of a bonus here for the Ducks. They get David Rittich, not Ilya Sorokin in net. Now, Rittich's been better, certainly this year, than he's been in the past, but Sorokin's form's been so good that, you still look at that as a slight bit of a drop-off, even with a David Rittich that's playing better. Ville Husso's back in net following his great performance the other night, 4-1 in his last 5 starts for Anaheim. So give him credit. They've needed Ville Husso to step up with Dostal and Mrazek still on the IR, and he has done that for this Anaheim team, and the great young firepower that this Ducks team has done the rest. So, yeah, I'm back on Anaheim here, plus 105. I have a smaller over bet just because Anaheim's been 8-2 to the over, crazy over team of late. I don't love the 6.5 or love betting a 6.5 right now with the Islanders, but I am on the over just because they've been such a strong over team. But I like Anaheim even more than that. Money line plus 105. Draw lean, but there's other draws I like more. Alex, what do you think? Ducks, Islanders.
I like this draw. I grabbed this last night at plus 333 over at BetMGM. FanDuel still dealing most of their draws below 3-1, but something I did play over there was a parlay. Over 5.5 alternate total combined with the draw, move that up to plus 515. I like goals here in this spot. I could easily see it be another game we could maybe take a shot at a 3-3 or a 4-4 correct score as well. But I do like the draw here. Give me one with the Islanders.
Yeah. I think over Anaheim draw. I think that trio of bets, all of them worth a look here. David, what do you think here? Ducks, Islanders.
Yeah, I love the over here. I got the 6.5 at minus 105 last night. Honestly, like it even more without Sorokin in net. The Ducks are, over the last 4 games, they've just been flying. 8 expected goals a game. They've had the overhit, and I think you said 8 out of 10. I think 6 of the last 7. Yeah, I mean, they're just not afraid to give up chances both ways. The Islanders are starting to open it up a little bit more as well. Yeah, I like it with Husso net. I know he had a great start a few nights ago, but I think that's kind of skewed his numbers. He's still not Dostal, and yeah, I like this over 6.5. I could definitely see the 3-3, 4-4, maybe even 5-5 expected goal or goal draws, like you were saying. So yeah, I like the over a lot.
Sprinkle might be worth a shot. Yeah, if you believe in that. Yep, no question. Yeah, I like Seneca. Back to the well, man. Beckett, Seneca, who is now on a 3-game goal streak and plus 340 still to find the back of the net. No question. So, like I said, I think definitely that's a good look as far as a prop tonight for the Anaheim Ducks. He's been obviously on this multi-game goal streak for them, worth a shot. You can never go wrong maybe looking in the direction of Uncle Leo Carlson either. Islanders, I stick to the same, group that I've been talking. Maybe Holmstrom gets going. He did score the other night, so maybe Simon Holmstrom, can be can use the goal he scored the other night against Vegas to get himself going. Other than that, I would look toward the usual suspects. Emil Heineman on the top line, maybe Shabanov as well, but especially Emil Heineman for the New York Islanders. All right, Vegas, Philadelphia. Vegas minus 150, road favorites, 5.5 the total. We were getting all psyched up for the Carter Hart facing his old team here, but that's not going to happen. Bruce Cassidy opting for Akira Schmid to get the start in net here for the Vegas Golden Knights, probably because he's just getting back, and he's already dealt with a lot, Carter Hart, off the ice, like, putting the I don't know what it is, the pressure or the stress, if you will, of starting in Philadelphia, when you're just trying to get your feet wet back in the NHL. Maybe they just didn't want to put that on his plate here tonight against the Flyers, but it'll be interesting to see because he'll be on the bench, and they've been saying, what's he going to hear from the Flyer fans? That's going to be the interesting question when he's sitting on the bench here, backing up Akira Schmid here tonight. This is dog and draw for me. You're going to give me Philly at this price with Vladar in net, especially. And Vladar is kind of usurped Ersson as far as the superior goalie right now for the Flyers. I don't mind taking them at these prices. Vegas now, as the road trip goes on, they finally travel because they were in the Tri-City area 3 games in a row, Rangers, Devils, Islanders. Now they finally have to travel a little bit at least. And then you talk about them coming off and the Flyers have been playing some very competitive hockey at home of late, good home record as well. I think there's definitely some value with the Flyers at this price, plus 130. I like that. But what I like even more, I like this draw. This is arguably my favorite draw on this Thursday card. Makes a lot of sense. 2 of the last 3 for Vegas have gone past regulation. Philly is no stranger to games that have gone past regulation. We've seen some overtime and shootout games head-to-head recently between these two teams as well. So everything adds up. All the flags, all the indicators are there that the draw is very much live in this game. So draw and the Flyers here for me. Alex, Vegas, Philly.
Yeah, it's the classic Alex B double for me. I got the first period over, minus 115 last night, and I like that draw as well, plus 333.
Yep, good stuff. All right, draw is this is my favorite draw, no doubt. Just like Vegas, actually, Tuesday night, my favorite draw was Vegas's game as well. Vegas Islanders, there was no draw I liked more than that one. What do you think here, David? Vegas, Philly.
Yeah, I'm actually opposite of you. I got the Knights minus 150. Nothing crazy on the game, but they got a plus 10 expected goal differential the last 6 games. I think they're playing their best hockey of the year. It's tough to lay it against Vladar right here, but yeah, I'm laying the minus 150. Nothing crazy, but I think it's a good play.
It says a lot. I was gonna say it says a lot about how Carter Hart's status is probably potentially mentally, like say, getting back into the game to where he wouldn't get this spot. Because even though he had played the last couple of games, you said you need work, you want to get the rust off of him. We know he's played well in Philly, but like you said, this is a Philly crowd that's going to be very harsh, like they always are. This is the group of fans that boot Santa Claus, after all. So you didn't want to throw him in there, but it makes you wonder. At some point, is he going to, become that guy that's going to, take the reins as the number one, or are they just going to continue to roll back and forth with him and Schmid, as a 1A, 1B tandem? Because I think this might have been a game where if you put him in and he gets a win, you could build that confidence and ride with him as the number one. So I do think it's a bit interesting that they are going with Schmid, even though he's played well too. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, very, very interesting. Yeah, of course. Philly crowd is a rough and tumble bunch. We know that. Just look at what they do to the Philadelphia Eagles. Like the Chicago game at home on Black Friday was ridiculous. And I know they're slumping now, so maybe now they've got a reason for being upset. But the Bears-Eagles game, that's a team that at the time had lost 2 games all season. And there they are booing the hell out of their team that won a Super Bowl last year, just because they were down, 7-0 in the first quarter to Chicago in that game. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's like there's times to boo, and then there's times where you're totally absurd and asinine doing it. But that's what you get sometimes from Philadelphia. They're very tough. They are very tough. You can win a Super Bowl, and then the first drive of the next season, 2 sacks and a fumble, and they're booing your ass. I mean, that's what you get from that fan base sometimes. Like I said, they're as tough as it gets on their teams. There's no question. All right, next up as we continue along here, we've got, San Jose, Toronto. We got the Leafs, big favorites here, minus 200 home favorites. The total 6 shaded to the over. This was 6.5, but under money showing up. And I can't say I argue with it. Toronto's been an under machine lately, playing good team defense. Dennis Hildeby, who's going to start once again tonight, he's been great since taking over for Joseph Woll. Third period of that Carolina game is when he took over in net for the Leafs. He's given up 1 goal in 7 periods of hockey. And I know as someone like David, who's into the the expected goals numbers and the advanced numbers for the goaltenders too, I can tell you Dennis Hildeby, shockingly, is like right in the top 10 right now in goals saved above average and all goal saved above expected, whatever you want to call it. He's right up there, Dennis Hildeby. So his numbers have been tremendous. As far as he's been not only making the routine saves, he's making really good saves. And saves that maybe, wow, grade A chances. He's stopping a lot of those right now. I never knew his glove hand was that good until I saw the way he's played here the last few games. But it's been impressive. That being said, for Toronto, these are the spots at times where they've stumbled over the years. And they come off Montreal and Tampa in back-to-back games, and they play Edmonton on Saturday. So that's a little bit tricky. We'll see how this one plays out. Nedeljkovic is in net for San Jose because of the fact that Yaroslav Askarov remains out due to the illness for San Jose. So again, they've been trending under. They've been playing good team defense. I'm not stepping in front of that now, but I am going to take a small shot on the Sharks and maybe the draw here as well. Dog and draw in this game. And the reason for that is because San Jose has been in this off a loss win, off a win loss pattern lately. Off a win, they've been losing. Off a loss, they've been winning. And obviously they're off the loss to Philadelphia in their last game. So like I said, plus 170. I don't just because of the pattern we're seeing with San Jose and the fact for Toronto, this is a bit of a dead spot when you played Montreal, you played Tampa in the division, and then you got Connor McDavid and the Oilers coming in for Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday night. So I think plus 170, small bet for me on that and the draw. Alex, what do you think here? Sharks, Leafs.
I took a shot here with first period, both teams to score. And that was just kind of a predecessor to maybe looking for the first period over in game at a cheaper price. If I don't have time to do that, I feel like we could see the Sharks at least push back. We've seen them get goals early. We've cashed with that first goal, first period, or first period goal looks at with them as a dog spot. So that's just kind of my way of playing that. But I do think they could give up some goals here as well. I'm not running to back San Jose in this spot. I can see this feels like a game where San Jose maybe starts off early and then Toronto gets things rolling. They find a 4-2, 5-2 kind of a win. Yep. So it's a pass for me on the side.
I'm also going to bet a live first period over, not full game, just first period over because of that San Jose run. I think it's 11-2 right now for San Jose, the run to the first period over in their last 13 games. So, but I'm not going to bet it now. It's a little too pricey. We'll wait for something live during the first period. Couple good goal props. Dakota Joshua, 5 goals and 9 against San Jose. Jonathan looks at player versus team, player versus goalie stats when it comes to player props and goal props. So if you buy into that, that's not bad. We have to bet Colin Graf. It is that simple. We simply must have Colin Graf to score a goal tonight on our card. It's that simple. He's up on the top line with the Mac attack, Macklin Celebrini, and Will Smith. He's now scored in 3 straight games for the San Jose Sharks, and you're still getting outstanding prices north of plus 400 on Colin Graf to score. Not the 600 we got Tuesday with the bargain bin, but still a great price. Got to bet it. Colin Graf, red hot right now for the San Jose Sharks at this point in time. And then for Toronto, I will throw in there tonight. Jonathan mentioned Dakota Joshua. I think I will throw in just because, look, they put Dakota Mermis on IR, so they're now without Mermis and Carlo, so they had to call someone up on the blue line. Henry Thrun, who is a former Shark. Yes, he's played a handful of games for the San Jose Sharks. Now playing with Toronto tonight, his first regular season game with the Leafs, Henry Thrun. So just for, shits and giggles, former player angle, Henry Thrun at a crazy price. The price is wild for him because he's just going to be a depth third pair defenseman tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But why not, with him facing San Jose? And I think it's just coincidence. They needed to call him up. He's playing well with the Marlies. That's why they called him up. But yeah, plus 2,000 at FanDuel. Henry Thrun to score a goal. Why not? Just a couple bucks on that. 20-1. Henry Thrun for Toronto against his old team. San Jose. David, what do you think here? San Jose, Toronto.
Yeah, I like Toronto laying 1.5, and I like Toronto in regulation. I think minus 125 or so. The Leafs they gotta win now. Honestly, they got Matthews back. They're starting to turn around a little bit. They're looking a lot better. Hill to be in net is probably their best option. I think Nedeljkovic is a decent sized downgrade from Askarov right now, to be honest. I think the Sharks are in kind of a weird spot. I think we've seen with a lot of these kind of supposed bottom feeder teams earlier in the season. They've had a lot of hype, a lot of energy, and performed very well. I think this is about the time of the year when they start to trend down a little bit. Yeah, I like the Leafs minus 1.5. I know the Sharks got the better of them in both games last year as well. So not sure if they're thinking about that, but I think the Leafs get a good win here.
It was over a span of 3 seasons, 119 games played for Henry Thrun with San Jose, and a grand total of, like I said, he didn't light the lamp a ton, but nevertheless, like I said, I just had it up here. Where the hell did it go? But yeah, like I said, 119 games in 3 seasons with San Jose, 5 goals in those 119 games. But like I said, you're putting a couple bucks on it.
And it's goofy enough to where this would be a spot he scores.
Yeah, it would be. It would be just, I've seen it before. Like, whoa, all of a sudden, whoa, he actually did score against his old team. It's crazy. I've seen it at least a handful of times and it's crazy how sometimes that can work out. But obviously the one that I really like on the San Jose side is, of course, the Red Hot, Colin Graff, who's just been absolutely outstanding for them of late. All right, next up, we've got those are all the 7 Eastern games, okay? Every game we've talked about so far is 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Where's the 7:30 p.m. games, God damn it? Where are they? Why are we not, like, staggering these times a little bit? Come on.
Yeah, we take the what's the Tuesday thing? I can't even think. The Frozen Frenzy thing?
Yeah.
We take it for granted.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, that's just bad job right
How am I
there.
going to watch 10 games at once? But.
Yeah, exactly. And then when it's quartered, we're all sitting there like a bunch of dopes at 7:50 p.m. Eastern time because there's nothing to watch. Everything's
Right.
at intermission.
Everything's
and
at
there's no
intermission.
game
Yeah, at the
going
same
on.
time.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my God, ridiculous. There's no explanation for it. All right, Boston and Winnipeg. Winnipeg minus 160, home favorites. The total 6 here in this game, pretty much across the board. So this total's already skyrocketed. I got in at 5.5 to the over here. Bruins are scoring. I mean, 4 or 5 goals in every recent game for Boston. So certainly their offense is in good form. Winnipeg, and the issue with Winnipeg still is their defensive game has plummeted. The goaltending is not as, reliable and dominant with Connor Hellebuck out. Eric Comrie can be up one game, down the next. It will be Eric Comrie tonight. Jonas Korpisalo will get the start for Boston. He's had a couple decent starts the last couple times we've seen him, but still a bit of a drop from Jeremy Swayman with the way Swayman's played this year for the Boston Bruins. So I like this over at 5.5. It's 5.5s are all long gone. It's 6 now across the board. This total went up immediately when Korpisalo was announced in. But like a 6, I still like the over enough to bet it. At 5.5, I certainly liked it even more. I bet Boston last night plus 140 because I just figured Winnipeg's not a minus 160 type favorite that I trust to lay with right now. But obviously with the Korpisalo announcement, I don't like the Bruins nearly as much. But I will say I think, it's still hard to lay a price like this right now with the Winnipeg Jets. So a little bit on Boston, like the over as well. Even at 6, I co-sign on it. I still recommend it. Alex, what do you think here? Bruins, Jets.
Yeah, this is another one where I went with a draw. Even though there's no series history, no recent history of either one of these two teams, I grabbed plus 340 last night. I feel like this could be a game that kind of goes back and forth. And I know the Bruins, like I said, have been scoring well, but it feels like it could be a game where the Jets try and drag them down, play a little bit lower and slower. So plus 340, that's the only bet I have. Draw.
I think there's definitely a possibility. I just hope that's not the case. What do you think here, David? We've got Boston, Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's a shame Swayman's not in net. I took the Bruins plus 140 last night. I honestly still like it a lot. The Jets are in kind of a free fall without Hellebuck. He really holds them together. Their on ice analytics are, fairly average. But since he's been out the last I think it's been 6 or 7 games, maybe a little more, but they have a minus 10 expected goal differential. It's not just Comrie. They've fallen off an absolute cliff on ice analytics since he's been out. I think I think they just know that it's little bit of a disaster when he's out. So while he's still out, I will gladly be betting against the Jets, especially with a good underdog price. And the Bruins look great again with Pastrnak back. I know he had 3 assists. I think they won that game. I think they had 4 more expected goals as well. Yeah, I like the Bruins a lot as a dog.
There we go. Good stuff. And, of course, Pasta came back against St. Louis the other night, and they're happy to have him back. Boston team total over. Yeah, I probably will end up, splitting it between team total and money line with Boston. I think I probably will with the because I do think they got a chance maybe to get to that 2.5, 3 mark, and that's a good display there from Jonathan of all the goals they've allowed Winnipeg in the 10 games without Hellebuck. There's a lot of 4s and a lot of 5s and a lot of 3s and even a 6 on that ledger. So that's what you'd expect, though. I mean, you go from Hellebuck, and we don't love playoff Hellebuck, especially road playoff Hellebuck, but every other Hellebuck is as good as it gets. Especially regular season Hellebuck. There's never an issue with regular season Hellebuck. He's great. But without him, you go from that to Thomas Milic and Eric Comrie.
They go from content. They're a Western Conference contender with Hellebuck, and they're an average team without him.
Absolutely, I agree.
That's true. I think the results bear that out. I don't know how you argue otherwise. Yeah, as far as props, I like a bunch with Boston. I like Geeky, Alex Steves because he's still on the top line, but I also like Fraser Minton. He scored in back-to-back games for Boston, 3 goals in the last 2 games. He's heating up. And this guy does have offensive potential, untapped offensive potential. People think of him as a good face-off guy, good defensive player. He's got offense to his game, and he's starting to show people that. 3 goals in the last 2 games for Fraser Minton of the Boston Bruins, former Leaf, plus 640. Great price on that. So there's no question. At that price, having scored 3 in the last 2, got to look toward him for a goal prop for the Bruins tonight. And then on the Winnipeg side, going into this one, we've got Iafallo with Scheifele and Connor. A little bit of a tweak here with Scott Arniel. So definitely there's some Iafallo value on the Jets side up on the top line here tonight for them in this game. All right, next up, St. Louis, Nashville. Nashville minus 120, minus 125 in some spots. Home favorites, 5.5, 6 the total here in this game. How about Nashville? They're starting to cook a little bit. That was a nice win for them the other night against Colorado. 5-2 in their last 7 games. This is the best stretch of hockey Nashville's had since maybe 2 years ago. Did they even have a stretch like this last year at any point? I don't think so. So let's give the Predators some credit. They're starting to feel it here. Shea Walker, throwing his team under the bus all year. And they should be getting back on the bandwagon now a little bit. But problem is St. Louis has definitely owned this recent series. I don't know if I trust the Blues, though. They're just so up and down. Nashville is playing better, but it would be kind of typical Nashville to beat Colorado at home and lose tonight to the St. Louis Blues. I wouldn't put it past them. I cannot do anything here with this game as far as the side. I think you can make a case either way. I will bet some over 5.5, though. 7-1 to the over for Nashville all of a sudden in their last 8 games, trending over the total. Blues, 3 of their last 4 have gone over, and there's been a little bit of an offensive bump for them, and there's certainly been a better offensive results lately, scoring-wise for Nashville. So I think being able to get 5.5, it's cheap, and we'll look at an over here at 5.5, minus 130. Alex, what do you think here, St. Louis, Nashville?
Taking a small shot with goal in first 5 minutes at plus 166. That's just a little bit of insulation because I want to try and get a plus number with this over 5.5.
Yeah, you could do that too. If you don't love the minus 130, you could certainly wait and see if you get a couple minutes of scoreless hockey, get 5.5 closer to even money in that first period. What do you think here, David, St. Louis, Nashville?
Yeah, I got nothing here. I mean, it's just 2 teams I hate betting on. Learned my lesson betting on the Predators last year. I've learned that it's a no-go whenever I like them. I'd probably lean to Nashville, but that's about it.
Nothing wrong with that. Good stuff. As far as even props, in this game, lukewarm on any of the props here for this game for the most part. What's interesting here is, maybe back in the lineup, maybe sprinkle on him to score. This guy has scored goals in the NHL in the past, and he's back here with the St. Louis Blues. He started his career here. He went to Detroit for a few years, played 1 year in Anaheim, and now he's inked a 2-way deal. He's joining the team in Nashville, and he's in the lineup tonight, it looks like. Robbie Fabry. How about that? Blast from the past for the St. Louis Blues here. tonight, and back with the team where he started his NHL career. So yeah, like I said, I think maybe a little Fabry magic here possibly tonight. So we'll dabble in the goal prop there for him in his return to not only the NHL but with the St. Louis Blues, the team he started his career with. We are expecting Binnington and Saros in this game as far as starting goaltenders, but it isn't confirmed yet for Nashville. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe, just maybe, after a terrific effort against Colorado the other night, Andrew Burnett gives UC Saros a little bit of a night off and puts a useless in there. Useless on it, and Eustace on it, and of course is who I'm talking about.
Now this is one where if it is on it and confirmed at some point, run and grab 5.5, grab 6, because those will probably balloon and possibly could close at 6.5. So
yeah, no doubt. There'll probably be a little movement in the total if indeed on it and is confirmed right before puck drop. All right, Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild. We've got Dallas minus 135 road favorites, 5.5, 6 the total here in this game. So overnight I took Dallas and it was minus 120, minus 125. Terry Edelman, our good friend of the show, Minnesota Wild fan. He has his own show as well, Picks on Net. When he's telling us, we got to bet Dallas here, and he's a Wild fan. He loves his Wild. He must really think that this is a good Dallas spot here. We'll see. I wouldn't love recommending them now because this actually got to minus 145. There's been a little Minnesota buyback here. It's a tough spot for Minnesota, right? They're off a road trip that ended with a win against Seattle. I could see them coming out a little bit sluggish. I certainly have a better price. I have about 10 cents, 15 cents better price than what's out there right now on the Dallas Stars. One thing, though, that Jonathan brought to our attention is in a lot of these Dallas wins against Minnesota, many of them have been by margin. 2 goals or more, and in a lot of cases, 3 goals or more. So what I will recommend is, it's not a bet I've made because I'm just on the money line, but I don't love recommending the money line now at this price. I would say take a shot with a minus 1.5 here maybe on the Dallas Stars. And what I do at plus money, and what I do like here is Dallas first goal of the first period. I like that. Catching Minnesota off the road, first game back, first period back is usually when you're most vulnerable. So Dallas first goal, first period, I think that's plus 115 at FanDuel. Pretty solid price. I like that. I think they can jump on Minnesota, get that opening goal early in the game. And I don't even mind it if it's Wallstead in net either for Minnesota because, he finally had a loss. Let's see with a little adversity strikes how the kid responds. He's good. He's been good. But let's see how he handles now playing after losing, for the first time in quite a while. Alex, what do you think here? Stars, Wild.
Yeah, this is a really good live game, but I will grab some of that pregame as well. Stars first goal, first period. Could definitely see Dallas trying to get the pace early, take the crowd out of it, and then can kind of go from there. But this could be one where I maybe see that over come in as well. So maybe I'll look for that live over at 5.5. Kind of wait for that to creep into plus money territory as well. So good live game for sure.
No doubt. Okay, it is Gus. Okay, Philip Gustafson in net for Minnesota. David, what do you think here? Dallas, Minnesota.
Yeah, I'd probably lean to Dallas. I think they're playing their best hockey of the year, but the last 4 games they've had a pretty easy draw. They played the Jets, who are struggling, the Penguins struggling, the Sharks struggling, and the Devils without Hughes are struggling. So yeah, I'd probably lean to Dallas, but no play.
All right, good stuff. Prop wise for this game, not a whole lot for me standing out in the props for this Dallas and the Minnesota game, other than for Minnesota we've talked about. Now there is a shakeup here. Zuccarello. Now on IR, still without Rossi, Foligno, Yurov, Tarasenko, if you want to trust him, sometimes you can't find him with a telescope on the ice for the Minnesota Wild, but he is on the top line with Yurov and Kaprizov, trying to find some Russian magic there, the Russian triumvirate for John Hines there on the top line. Yurov's the one would be more interested in as far as a prop shot there in that game. Boldy with some good first goal stats, according to Jonathan as well. So maybe in those 2 directions on the Minnesota side. For Dallas in this game, of course, we've talked about, Rope Hintz has had a nice run of late. Sam Steele's chipped in. I'm never against maybe looking in his direction. Of course, the red-hot Jason Robertson, who's been tremendous. So those would be the main candidates for props for Dallas. All right, we got 3 games left. Next up, we've got Florida, Colorado. Colorado minus 230, home favorites here in this game. The total sitting at 6.5, shaded to the under. I was lined up had Colorado beaten Nashville. I really would have liked this to maybe take Florida first goal, first period, jump on Colorado coming back home off the road trip, and plus another thing that makes sense is Florida early in this game is the momentum angle. They've won 3 in a row. They're going to have they're going to be at their freshest early in the hockey game. And then it's the second and especially the third period where the back-to-back in altitude, the back-to-back in the thin air and altitude of Utah last night, Colorado tonight will show up. So if you like Florida, I'm still tempted by Florida in that first goal of the first period. I still might sprinkle on it here in this game against Colorado, and then maybe look at Colorado live if they're trailing at some point here, because I could see Florida starting strong, fading as the game goes on. And we know for years watching Colorado at home how much they have poured it on, as the game goes on. And that could be times 10 here against a Panthers team that's playing back-to-back in altitude. And we'll be starting, of course, Daniil Tarasov here on a back-to-back after giving Bobrovsky the start last night in that game. Mackenzie Blackwood will get the start for Colorado. That's not at all a surprise. They're going to be cautious with Wedgwood, the concussion spotter. Removed him from the shootout against Nashville the other night. I thought that was crazy to do that. Didn't seem that big of a deal, but nevertheless, he was removed, and they're being cautious with Wedgwood, so it'll be Mackenzie Blackwood starting here for Colorado. I think I might dabble in that first goal, first period. Certainly going to get a great price on it. Florida first goal, first period in this game. Anything else I bet in this game will be live. Alex, what do you think? Panthers, Avs.
I grabbed an over 6 at -115 last night, and that's pretty much the only thing I would look at would be over 6.5. You can get it even money. Maybe just play it small or just try to wait in game. But I do like goals here, especially with Tarasov potentially starting for Florida.
Yeah, I don't argue that. That's definitely something I'm eyeing live. Overs are on the docket for me, but going to wait see if I can get something a little bit better early in that opening period with the overs in game. What do you think here in this one, David? Avalanche hosting the Panthers.
Yeah, Florida's been playing their best hockey, but this is a really tough spot. Road back-to-back playing the Avalanche off a loss in Nashville. I don't think I can lay -220 against the Panthers. I think it's probably a decent line, but it's just not going to happen. I'm going to look for a live line, like you said too. If they go down a goal early, I think it's going to be tough for them to keep legs after a tight game in Utah yesterday.
Yeah, I like Carter. Carter, it's not bargain bin worthy, but still, Carter Verhaeghe. How do you not ride the wave? Since he's been a new father, my gosh, 4-game goal streak. He's been lighting it up for this Panthers team. He's from Waterdown, Ontario. It's a suburb of Hamilton. So he's he's from right just down the road here. So good to see Verhaeghe heating up here for this Florida Panthers team. 4 straight games with a goal. The new dad bump. Oh, no shit. Since he's become a new dad, 4 straight games with a goal for him. So like I said, definitely feeling it right now for the Panthers. No question. Lundell, who scored the game winner last night, he's up there on the top line with Kuhlman, Luostarinen, and Reinhart. So Luostarinen and Lundell, there's definitely great value. Bennett might be starting to heat up. We've been waiting for Bennett because Bennett hasn't had the offensive season people expected, but all of a sudden for him, 3 goals in the last 3 games and 2 goals last night against Utah. So, like I said, there's some good props on the Florida side. Brock Nelson has scored in back-to-back games for Colorado. So I'd maybe look in his direction as far as props go for them here in this game tonight. All right, next up, we got 2 games left. Detroit, Edmonton. Edmonton -2, looks like, actually, no, -180. Home favorites here, 6.5 the total in this game. Edmonton off that 4-3 loss to Buffalo, where looked like they were going to rescue the game. Down 3-0 at one point, come all the way back, tie it in the final second. Connor McDavid tying the game. And then, of course, Buffalo. Once again, Evan Bouchard, who can be just magical with the puck on his stick offensively, moving the puck up the ice, passing, shooting the puck with that Bouch bomb, and yet can be an absolute travesty in his own end. And boy, was he that against Buffalo the other night. That mistake on the overtime goal, and the whole group 3-on-3 defensively was terrible, allowing Tuck to be all alone in front of Skinner for the overtime winner. But then how about the goal that Tage Thompson scored earlier in the game? Unbelievable how bad it was for Bouchard. Just basically put it right on the tape of Tage Thompson. Like, here you go, Tage, score this goal. I'll just give it right to you. An early Christmas gift from Evan Bouchard to Tage Thompson the other night. And that's what's maddening. And that's why Oilers fans are frustrated with Bouchard. He just is amazing talent, as far as the offensive side as a defenseman, and yet just has these bonehead, brain cramp, nightmarish moments defensively in his own zone and with turnovers. I mean, and it happened again multiple times to him against Buffalo the other night. So, like I said, Edmonton, they kind of played down to Buffalo. They didn't really get going until the third period. Awful loss. Will they play 60 minutes tonight now? Awful loss to Buffalo. You would we always say sometimes nothing snaps you into attention like losing to the Buffalo Sabres. So we'll see if that gets that effort out of Edmonton. Detroit's playing hard, though. This is a brutal spot. It is. It's back-to-back on the road. It's the end of a very long road trip. They might be looking forward to getting home. I don't want Detroit in this spot, but I'm not laying minus 180 with Edmonton. I'm just on full game over. I think Edmonton could light it up. Talbot's going to be in net. He has not been great lately. There's a reason Gibson's been starting all these games lately for the Red Wings. He's been the better goalie. The worm has finally turned. The pendulum has swung finally. Early in the year, Talbot was out playing Gibson. Now it's kind of gone the other way. Talbot's given up 4 goals or more in 3 of his last 4 starts for the Detroit Red Wings. Winless in his last 4 appearances, 3.94 goals against, .838 save percentage for Talbot during that time. This could even be an Edmonton. I almost hit the Edmonton team total, but I had more on the full game over against Buffalo. The Edmonton team total over fell short. I'm going to probably bet that Edmonton team total over again here tonight in this game, with the hope that this time they do get back to 4 goals in this game. So Edmonton team total over 3.5 minus 122, and also that full game over 6.5 minus 110. Alex, what do you think here? Detroit, Edmonton.
Yeah, so last night I grabbed a plus 375 with a draw. I just thought that was a ridiculous price here because we saw a higher number on Edmonton. 4 of the last 6 meetings have gone past regulation. So at plus 360, which is still available at BetMGM, I still like the draw in this spot. We'll be looking for an over, but can wait in game for that 6.5. Hope to try and grab a 6 or maybe even a 5.5 potentially. But definitely liking goals and definitely liking this to go past regulation.
Yeah, Detroit 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. Another over for Detroit last night. Edmonton 3 straight overs here on this homestand. The Seattle, Winnipeg, and Buffalo games all going over the total. So yeah, definitely liking that over 6.5. If you want to wait, see if you can get a better number. Nothing wrong with that. What do you think here, David? Red Wings, Oilers.
Yeah, I love what you were saying. I like the team total over 3.5 and the over 6.5 at minus 115. Yeah, I think this is a spot where the Oilers come in pissed off. You finally saw some firepower in that game, scoring 3 in the third to tie it up. Got my over home, which was fortunate with a couple seconds left. But I think this is a great spot. I think this game's going to be flying. The Red Wings are playing a good, faster game. They've shown that with 8 of the last 10 going over. The Oilers, the last 3 games, 7 goals, 8 goals, and 13 goals. So I think they're starting to play that faster style. I think their offense is starting to click, and I think it's going to be a fast game. I like the over.
I'm not out till I lose too, bumper stumper style with James Van Riemsdyk. He finally didn't score last night, but we're going to bet him one more time tonight. One more time. We're going to hopefully celebrate with a JVR goal tonight here in this one. Still getting over plus 500 as far as him finding the back of the net for Detroit. You guys have talked me into the draw too. I'm going to sprinkle on the draw. Yeah. Alex did, and Jonathan did with this stat. Edmonton is 4-0 off a home loss with the next game at home, but 2 of those games have gone to overtime.
Yeah.
So
I said in the chat, the three games I like for draws the most. Number 1, Vegas, Philly. Number 2 is Ducks, Isles, and number 3 is this one here with Detroit,
Edmonton. Yeah.
I'm not a big trends guy, but the Oilers overs are also 10-3 at home. I think that does matter a little bit. I think they show a little more firepower at home.
I think I saw something or I actually went back and looked further into it too, and I'm pretty sure with the it's something like 29-10 long term for Edmonton to the over on home ice. So it's really been strong longer term. You mentioned 10-3, David, just the last 13. I think it's something like 29-10.
Yeah,
really strong.
More firepower, better ice.
Yeah. Papa John's. Yeah. Better ice, better scoring, Papa John. So, yeah, better pizza, better this, better that, Papa John's. Yeah, good stuff there. No question. All right. So, yeah, as far as Edmonton, I think there were a couple because I definitely want to have some Edmonton props in the portfolio tonight because I think they're going to score. Probably go over their team total. Savoy on the second line. Podkolzin, got them that big goal in the third to get them within one. He's now scored 2 of the last 3 games playing with Draisaitl on that second line. So those are a couple of the good value looks as far as player props on the Edmonton side here tonight in this one. All right, our final game for this monster Thursday slate: Buffalo Sabres, Vancouver Canucks. We've got Buffalo minus 115 road favorites, 6 the total here in this game. There's no friggin' chance I'm betting a side in this game. I mean, my goodness, Buffalo off a win. No, thank you. I do not have much faith and confidence in this team off a win, especially a big win, especially the kind of win when Lindy Ruff is saying stuff after the post game of that 4-3 win against Edmonton, saying, I'm so proud of these guys. They battled, they fought through every element. That's fat and happy written all over it going into Vancouver tonight. And I don't want that out of a mediocre, less than mediocre team like the Buffalo Sabres hearing that shit. I want a team that's motivated, that's fired up, that's pissed. Like they were after the Calgary game. That's why they won against Edmonton. They were pissed. They were embarrassed for how they played against the Calgary Flames. So and that's why they came out storming and they played a pretty good game. Give them credit. Now they're feeling good again, feeling their oats again. I don't want to lay a price with Buffalo on the road off a win like that, talking like that, how good they feel now. That's usually when Buffalo falters. The problem is, how can you make a case to put your money behind the Vancouver Canucks right now, with everything that's going on there? I mean, it's been a disaster. They just got shut out by Detroit on home ice. That's hard to do. It's just a bad situation all around. Every time I see Quinn Hughes talk to the media, looks like a lost puppy. Early in the year, like he lost his puppy, I should say. And then when you look at the defensive game for Vancouver, which was terrible early in the year, and they've kind of rectified that, been a little bit better defensively, and now they can't score. They've been held to 2 goals or less in all 5 of their losses during this 1-5 skid in their last 6 games entering tonight. What we do know is for Buffalo, it looks like we are going to see Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net, or are we? We might see Alex Lyon, actually. I'm starting to see his name. Yeah, it is Alex.
I think Lyon was confirmed. Yeah.
Yep. Now, here's the thing with Alex Lyon. This carousel of goalies with him, Colton Ellis, and UPL. Alex Lyon hasn't started in a game, I believe, in quite some time. He got into the Edmonton game the other night because of the Colton Ellis injury. But as far as starting, it had been since November 28th was the last time he had started. The numbers for Lyon haven't been as good this season either. Entering tonight, we've seen 3.22 goals against, 899 save percentage for Alex Lyon entering this game tonight. Not great. For Vancouver, it is the returning Thatcher Demko. For how long, we do not know. But at least for tonight, he is back in net for the Vancouver Canucks. And by the way, Brock Besser, game time decision. He's shown up on the injury report, although he's been struggling of late too for the Canucks. But Thatcher Demko will be back. He's missed the last 12 games with that lower body injury. 2.8 goals against, 903 save percentage in his 10 appearances. But again, this is a guy that hasn't played in 12 games, and we haven't seen him in quite some time. And I worry about that early goal going in against Thatcher Demko tonight, possibly. So what I do like in this game, well, I wouldn't bet my mortal enemy's money on a side in this game. I can tell you that right now, because I don't want Buffalo and I don't want Vancouver. But what I do want in this game, give me the first period over in this game. Just the first period over. This is the Carter Hart theory once again. Remember Carter Hart against Chicago, that Vegas-Chicago game? We said he's been out for a while. He hasn't played in a long time. He could be susceptible to giving up an early goal. And I think that could be the case for Thatcher Demko here tonight in this game after not starting in 12. So I think there's a chance Buffalo can get on the board. And I certainly think Vancouver, off a shutout loss to Detroit, there should be onus on them, to try to get something rolling offensively early in this game against this Buffalo Sabres team as well. So I like that first period over. That's the only bet for me pregame here, Sabres and Canucks. Alex, what do you think here, Buffalo, Vancouver?
I'm just going to play it safer with Buffalo score first goal, first period. I think, like I said, getting it's the same theory, kind of getting at Demko early and often, and then from there I can make adjustments, grab first period over, grab Vancouver next goal, and work from there live. But I like Buffalo to get that first goal, the first period, plus 115 price at FanDuel.
Yeah, it's been exactly 1 month, by the way. November 11th is the last time we saw Thatcher Demko in action. So it's been exactly 1 month out for him, and now returning to the crease here for the for the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, that's ridiculous, Rich. And I know he's got a lack of options right now, Adam Foote, and I'm trying to have some sympathy for Adam Foote, but that's a bunch of nonsense right there. That David Kampf is on the first line. It should be illegal. That's absolutely
crazy.
That's just totally, absolutely ridiculous. The reason why he's not with the Leafs anymore because he did bubkus offensively. He doesn't give you jack shit at the offensive end of the ice. Yeah, he can win some faceoffs for you. He's not a bad penalty killer. It's decent defensively, but you're putting a guy like that with zero offensive skill set and abilities and consistency to put anything in the net on the first line as a center. That can't happen.
Yeah.
That absolutely can't happen.
The dictionary definition of a fourth line centerman.
Yeah, it is. That's I don't know what the hell Adam Foote's smoking right now. He's smoking some of that great BC ganja or weed or whatever they got out there, cannabis. Yeah,
He got a lot of stuff in BC he could be smoking, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's gotten into it, making decisions like that. That's my only guess. What do you think here in this one, David? Buffalo, Vancouver.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to bet this game. Demko coming back. There's so many uncertainties. Bad spot for the Sabres off that dramatic win against the Oilers. Yeah, there's just nothing for me.
Nothing wrong with that. Good stuff. That's a wrap. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Actually, that's not bad from Matt Robinson, who's going to be back on the show tomorrow with us on Friday, as he always is. But Matt, Shane Doan is red hot right now. Not Shane Doan, Josh Doan for the Buffalo Sabres. He's playing well, no question. Riding the wave there with a goal prop on him. Not the worst thing, not the worst idea, that is for sure. Great stuff. Check out wizardsportspicks.com. Speaking of Matt Robinson, he's there. Alex is there. I'm there. Check it out, wizardsportspicks.com. It's been a great run on the website. Absolutely tremendous numbers. Great NHL season right now overall on the website. We got a big NHL card tonight for yours truly on the website. It's all NHL, by the way, tonight for this Thursday. So check it out. A great roster of handicappers. It's like I said, and of course, we check out the Beyond the Lines video on the website too, every day on the YouTube channel for Wizard Sports Picks. I do that video Sundays, so make sure you check that out. And like I said, tons of great handicappers, lots of them on great streaks. So make sure you check that out at wizardsportspicks.com. 26-16 is the all sports run. 63-52 for the season with NHL on the website. I was trying to find the numbers. So excellent. Exactly where we want to be. Profitable, almost up 10 units. So great stuff. Check it out, wizardsportspicks.com. And of course, check out patreon.com/iceguys. $10 per month. Great response here throughout the season. Great to see so many people getting on board. And why not with the Patreon card? Especially this week, it's been good results with the Patreon card. Bargain bin winners galore this week. Great week for the bargain bin. Best bets have been pretty strong. So make sure you check it out. Again, goalie charts, totals charts, and our daily betting card. Sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. And again, your $10 per month membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So get on board if you haven't already. $10 per month. Give yourself the gift of an Ice Guys Patreon membership at patreon.com/iceguys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Now, for our Canadian viewers, our international viewers, if you want things arriving to you in time for Christmas, you're going to have to order either International Premium or International Express. You've missed the boat on the standard shipping. But for everybody here in the United States, you still have time to get standard shipping and have whatever items you want under the tree in time for Christmas. So do not delay right now. We've got just about everything in stock right now. It's the perfect time of year to get a gift for yourself or a loved one from the Ice Guys store. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
The clock is ticking, so make sure you get to the store and make sure so that you can get your gear and your merch before Christmas morning. And yes, next Tuesday, it's our Ice Guys Live Betcast /Christmas party, if you will. Going to be a lot of fun. next Tuesday, December 16th, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward to it. Our final live betcast of the year. So make sure you check that out. 7 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday. Open to everybody. Looking forward to that. All right. Bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Royal Cannabis, where the kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check it out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code ICEGUYS. All right, bargain bin special of the night for this Thursday. Oh, man, 13 games. Certainly lots to choose from. Alex, bargain bin special of the night. What do you got?
Yeah, let's head to the Steel City. Got the Penguins taking on the Montreal Canadiens and the highly anticipated debut of Jacob Fowler in goal for Montreal. I believe the Penguins give him a rude awakening early, and I think that comes from one Mr. Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes, first goal of the game, 18-1. You can grab that at FanDuel. That's my bargain bin special for this Thursday.
There we go. Kevin Hayes for the Pittsburgh Penguins. First goal, 18-1 for Alex B. Smith with his bargain bin special of the night. I was going to throw it to David, but I think David's screen froze. There you go. Yep. So we'll get David back in just a moment. Oh, there he is. Great timing. There we go. There he is. He's back. You're back. You got us? I don't know if he can hear us, though.
Can you hear us, though?
No.
No audio.
All right. I will go with my bargain bin. We'll get back to David in a sec. I'm doing Colin Graff again. It's a no-brainer. Have to. Colin Graff, San Jose Sharks, looking for another game here with a goal for them. Plus 450 is the best price out there right now with Colin Graff entering this game. Again, plus 450 is what we're looking at. And I'm also going to go with, it's actually a Leaf connection because I'm taking someone against Toronto, and that's Colin Graff plus 450. Give me Fraser Minton for Boston, plus 650. For him to find the back of the net. 2 games in a row with a goal for the Bruins. I love the price. 3 goals in the last 2 games for him. Plus 650 at DraftKings. Fraser, Minton, Boston, plus 650. Colin Graff, San Jose, plus 450 for my 2 bargain bin specials for this Thursday. I think we got David back. David, bargain bin special. What do you got?
Yeah, sorry, my computer decided to crash during the ad.
Oh, we've been there.
The songs were too fire. I like Jackson Blake anytime goal scorer for the Canes tonight. I think you can get plus 360 at FanDuel. Last 3 games, he's got 2 full expected goals, 12 in the last 29. He's not the best finisher, but he's getting a lot more power play time. He's got 20 minutes of power play time on ice in the last 4 games. So yeah, I think this is a great spot for Jackson Blake. He's taken a lot more chances, a lot more shot attempts than early in the season. I think he nets one against the Caps.
Good stuff. I almost went with Jordan Staal in that game from your team, the Carolina Hurricanes. Almost went with Jordan Staal for bargain bin, but I still like it. It's still a bet, plus 400, but can't give out 10 best bargain bins I like to keep it to 2, but yeah, Jordan Stahl was certainly on the radar as well for bargain bin special, but I ended up going with Minton and Graff. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Let's stick around in the Keystone State. We'll go to Philly this time. Got the Flyers and the Golden Knights, and it's not the Carter Hart return party. It would be Kira Schmid in that, but I like this game to go past regulation. Give me the draw here. Plus 333 available at BetMGM with Vegas and Philly. That's my best bet for this Thursday.
All right, there it is. Vegas, Philadelphia, draw, plus 330 for Alex with best bet. David, what do you got? Best bet.
Yeah, this was a tough one to pick. There's a lot I like tonight, but I think I'm going to join you with the Oilers team total over 3.5 at minus 120. I think this is a great spot for them to put up some goals. A little frustration after that Buffalo loss. I think it's a bad spot for Detroit. I think we see the Oilers blow the lid off the goal and net 5 or 6.
All right, there we go. Edmonton team total over 3.5 minus 120 for David with his best bet. My best bet, I'm going to stick with sides. I mean, there's a lot of totals I like tonight, but the sides now are starting to roll. I've had 2 back-to-back best bet winners with sides. Anaheim on Tuesday, Florida last night over Utah. Got to play that music. I'm doing it. In his debut, I like Montreal tonight. I got that good feeling for them. Going on the road, getting the job done, rallying around this kid, getting away from home. They've been better on the road lately. Bleu, blanc, rouge, le Canadien, le Canadien. Montreal plus 110 against Pittsburgh here. I like the Habs here to rally around this situation. Pittsburgh is starting to fade again. So Habs plus 110 for my best bet. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Very much looking forward to this big Thursday card. David, good to have you back. Great job as always. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith and for David C., I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we are back tomorrow, Friday. Matty Robb in the house as well, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.